Thanks for tuning in to the first post-qualifying report for 2025 in the NASCAR Cup Series. I'm your host, Greg DePalma. We're on Proline TV. And if you haven't joined us before, what are you waiting for? This is our new home for every sport, including NASCAR. We already have our Daytona 500 preview video up. It'll be in the library while you're watching this one. And a matter of fact, you can also check out some links of this video where you can not only find the video that we did earlier this week with CJ Radun of RotoWire, but you could also check out our newest handicapper, Kevin Rogers, who just posted his video. He's going to be posting them every Friday, it looks like. So probably he's going to get in himself before qualifying. We'll see if that lasts. I know he's also trying to do head-to-heads. So we're still not sure exactly when, but as of right now, especially because of the fact that Daytona and this first week is so different. We know the odds 2 weeks out. The odds haven't even changed since yesterday's duels. So it's just very different on how the regular week will be in NASCAR. So next week will give us a much better indication of when you can check out our post-qualifying report. Right now we're recording on a Friday morning, Friday early afternoon, actually. Normally, this will be on a Saturday afternoon. And again, we'll see. Kevin will probably be spitting out his reports more than likely on Friday. And let's hope the head-to-heads are out there. If they're not, then maybe you'll hear from Kevin on Saturday as well. But trial by error, give him a look, of course, at his videos and give him, a like. Subscribing to the channel will make sure that you get to see all of the videos. You never miss any of them. And we're going to have a lot of them, of course, for the 2025 season. So let's just kick this thing off with the duels. And the big story last night, I can't believe we're talking about this already, but the big story last night was NASCAR just doing it again. Let's watch the end of the race, duel number, actually, let me put this over here. Let's watch duel number 2. Let me see. I don't really care if we have the sound. I guess we can have it. Why not? Here we go.
Gets a run. He might force those guys to have to move and make a block. No, Logano stays with his teammate on the bumper. That's that teamwork we talked about. Thank you, Joey.
Well, we saw a perfectly executed block right there by Eric Jones. Yeah, he's got a great pusher behind him with a Ford of Chris Buescher, but he did a great job putting that car in the right position.
Eric Jones on the outside, Buescher the pusher, Cindric alone as Logano's in the middle now. Here they come to the stripe and they're all crashing behind Austin Cindric, who I believe has beaten Eric Jones by inches.
Wrong call. That turned out right.
LaJoy is in this race.
Okay, now.
That's how quick it can happen.
Takes thousands of frames per second, and they're going to have to sort this one out.
Oh, look at that.
That one's, I think we're, what do you think, Mike?
I think we're sorted out.
Yeah.
No, we're not. We're not sorted out because this is NASCAR.
It really come down to Eric Jones.
The caution light came out before the start-finish line. And that will determine the winner.
Well,
our camera showed at the line Jones was ahead, but who was leading at the moment of caution? That is the question. Richard Petty in 1977. Full race since 43. It's Jones giving the number 43 the question. And driving to the start-finish line is Eric Jones, giving the number 43 its first win in a dual race since Richard Petty in 1977.
But is he? Hey, good move by Eric, by the way. Good move. I would have done the same thing. I wouldn't have handled it the way Eric did at the end.
So NASCAR is still...
I don't think this is official yet, guys.
No, it's not.
So NASCAR is still reviewing moment of caution footage between Jones and
Look at this,
Austin
guys.
Cindric has his first dual win.
They don't have Eric on here. And it's probably good that we don't have Eric on here because his response was weak. It's typically weak. Well, those are the rules. You know, if this happens in the Daytona 500, just imagine if this were to happen in the Daytona 500. Neither Cindric nor Jones had any idea that a caution had come out. They were just racing hard to the line. This was all going on in fractions of a second. So who won the race? Eric Jones. But because some moron in NASCAR puts the caution light out, and he can't wait a freaking second. He can't wait 1 second for the race to end. They give it to Cindric. I can only hope, maybe I dream, that if this was the Daytona 500, that they would handle it differently. That whoever the Nimrod was that jumped the gun with the caution flag light would know better. It's only a duel. But for the 500, I'll give him that extra second or two. I guess we'll find out, because maybe we will find out one day. Is this a bad omen for the season? Because I'm starting to think it might be. And you know why? Because we're ending the championship once again in Phoenix. And I knew we were going to do it. I knew they weren't going to change it. But everybody knows now, after what we saw at Homestead, that that's exactly where we should be holding the championship race. How awesome would it be to have the NASCAR Cup Series championship on that racetrack? And they won't move it. They're going to go back to that crap hole, that boring waste of desert for the championship again. Now, once this season's over, they can't say anything about, well, we didn't have the time. So in 2026, they had better go back to putting the championship in Homestead. The only thing that is a little weird is why would you then move Homestead up earlier this year? Because that means if you do move it back to the end of the year, are people going to have to wait in Homestead a year and a half for a race? Or is NASCAR being proactive and smart for a change and saying, well, we know we're going to put Homestead as the championship in 2026, so let's move it early in 2025. So then when we go to 2026, we're going to keep the early portion of Homestead just like we do at Phoenix. We have the early race and the championship race, and that's what we're going to have to do with Homestead. We have to have two races. Go there the first time, check out the lay of the land. You'll be ready to go for the championship, testing out sort of thing. We can only hope. But I'm just getting a feeling that with us going back to Phoenix, and that it's just going to be repeat again. Another repeat of the same nonsense. And this is the way that we're going to kick off the year in the most ridiculous way imaginable. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers. Where are we? Let's take a look first at the duels. Let's go with duel number 1, just so you can see exactly what happened. Now, we all know by now that Chase Briscoe and Austin Cindric finished first and second. So Cindric was first or second anyway. So it really didn't matter to Austin Cindric, except, oh, it's nice to be a winner of a duel. That's it. But it's Briscoe and Cindric, so they're up top. They're going to be the front row. And as you can see here in duel number 1, Bubba did not have the kind of drama that we had in duel number 2. Bubba winning, and that's why you see him there ahead of Byron. Dillon is the interesting one. All right. Also, AJ. Allgaier, that was a nice story. Everybody's going to root for Allgaier now once they saw, if you weren't already in the know about affiliation with Junior. I know most diehard NASCAR fans are, but some didn't realize they're going to be rooting for him. And we talked about Allgaier being someone that deserves a full-time shot, and it's going to be interesting to see because he is a quality driver in super speedways. And again, we're going to have a link in the description. You can check that out. We went full detail on many of these drivers. We pointed out that Allgaier in the Xfinity Series at Daytona has 8 top 5s and a win, including 2023. That was a win in 2023. So he is somebody that is not going to be just, another driver, especially when anybody can win the 500. AJ, yes, AJ is very interesting. CJ has him as his long shot pick. And we went over AJ's history, especially in the Xfinity Series, where he has 4 top 5s in 8 races. And then in Talladega, he's got a win back in 2022 in the Xfinity Series. And in his last 7 Daytona Cup races at the overall, 6 top 10s out of 7, 2 top 5s. And last year, he was 6th. So another nice long shot, which is why CJ pegged him. Ty Dillon. What did we say about Ty Dillon? We said, hey, don't forget about, you want really big long shot, 90-1 Ty Dillon. In his last 9 Daytona races, when he doesn't have an incident, when he's not involved in a wreck or something wrong, engine, whatever, his average finish over those last 9 is 7.6. So Ty Dillon knows what he's doing on super speedways, as does AJ, as does Allgaier. Okay, now that was just duel number 1. Duel number 2 is the one we showed you on the clip. And there you go. Chris Buescher. What's interesting about Chris Buescher is I just left him off of my pick. Remember, I was like, well, I wasn't sure which one I was going to go with, and it's going to be. But if CJ had taken Bowman in his picks, then I would have went with Buescher. It turns out that our newest handicapper, Kevin Rogers, and if you're saying, Kevin, that's a name I'm familiar with. Well, you might be, because he was a handicapper for a little bit with Vegas Insider. So if you followed him over there, he's going to be over here posting videos every week. He's already posted his first video. It's already on the channel. Check it out. And he's had a couple of picks he had in there. And his top bargain pick is Chris Buescher. Okay, so Chris Buescher finishing 3rd here in duel number 2. Corey LaJoie is another long shot, of course. And if you're thinking about Corey LaJoie, looking at Corey's numbers, let me make sure, because sometimes they put them where they probably shouldn't be. Corey's numbers on super speedways, where did I have him? I thought he was right here. Boy, I don't even know where I put Corey LaJoie. Wait, is he here? That's why? Yes, there he is. So Corey LaJoie has 5 top 10s and a top 5 in 16 races at the Daytona Cup races. And in Atlanta, where he really is at his best, he has 2 top 5s since the configuration change of 2022. So this is Corey's best shot to win, is a super speedway. And there he is doing pretty well in the duels. I know people kind of believe in Todd Gilliland. I think he's overpriced, but okay. I mean, I think Gilliland's numbers should be back there at 45, 50, because I think any of those other drivers I've already talked about, some of those long shots who have odds in that area, I think should be where Todd Gilliland is. I don't think he's any better than those. Here is the lineup. Okay. Told you. I wasn't lying. You got Briscoe and Cindric in the front row. Now, you know what's interesting about this lineup? Look at this. Toyota, Toyota, Toyota. 3 of the top 4 are Toyota. Why do I bring that up? Because Toyota has not won a cup race at Daytona in the last 9. Okay? So that means something specifically for these manufacturers. You might say, well, trends are made to be broken. History changes. Maybe this is the year. And you know what? That could definitely be the case. Anything can happen at a super speedway, and maybe Toyota has made a couple of changes. But don't necessarily go by the fact that 3 of the top 4 are Toyotas in the starting lineup. Also, the top 3 in practice this week, Toyotas, Denny Hamlin, Bubba, and Ty Gibbs. So Hamlin looking awfully good as usual on a super speedway, and Wallace sure looking good. Matter of fact, we felt really good about Wallace as a nice little, it wasn't a long shot. I think it was 25-1. That's a good number on Wallace. You're probably not going to get that now. But the only problem was, because I think I mentioned it. I said, look, I'm taking Wallace, but when I'm taking 3 picks, I can't take him because he's in a Toyota. I'm just not going to do it. No, I'm not putting a Toyota in my 3 picks. And CJ did the same. CJ's 3 picks were Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, and AJ. And I went with Elliott, Bowman, and Noah Gragson. Now, Noah made a mistake, or he got screwed in the second duel, because he was in 3rd place in the last 3 or 4 laps. He was in prime position. And I couldn't see exactly what happened, but it looked like, I think Logano might have been ahead of him. It looked like he kind of moved out because he was on the bottom lane in 3rd. And then the second car moved. Actually, I think it was both the first and the second car went to the middle, and Noah went to the middle with them. And then they kind of switched because the television angle changed. But I could tell that something else was going on. And when they went right back, like about 2 seconds later, Gragson was all alone in the middle of the track. So he had lost. He had lost any momentum from anyone pushing him, and he had no chance. And air just sucked him up, and he was done. But considering that he had a good run in practice, he ran 8th. And I like him, as you can see anyway, as my official long shot. He's got a Talladega Xfinity win. He has a Daytona Xfinity win. And he does have a top 5 in 5 cup races at Daytona, as well as a 3rd last year at Talladega. So he knows how to super speedway drive. Okay. So let's get back to Toyota now. All right. So with Toyota, if you're thinking, well, they have to have some really good momentum here. I mean, look what Greg's talking about. 3 of the top 4 in the starting lineup. Look how fast they are. Top 3 in practice. Well, things are looking pretty good, right? Last year, Toyota in practice. Last year in practice. Actually, it wasn't practice, was it? Was it practice or was this? No, it was practice. Toyota had the top 8 drivers. And Denny Hamlin was first again, just like he was this year. And what did that get Toyota? Not a win. And that's what this is about. Look, you could go with top 10 results. Matter of fact, Kevin has a top 10 pick. You might want to check out. I'm not going to tell you who we went with. Check it out for yourself. He's got a top 10 pick. So you can go top 10. You can do that. Or you can go head-to-head. I think he mentioned that Logano and Blaney are head-to-head. That's a good one. And I believe he made a point of picking one of those drivers. I believe he did. So check that out. Does he take Blaney or Logano in head-to-head? All right. Now, I don't really notice anything else. This is, again, going to be one of the very rare situations during the season, but it's going to happen on the super speedways where qualifying just does not really matter. Now, it'll matter more, I think, even later in the year. We'll get, again, things will be just normal. We'll have a normal week, practice, qualifying, and such. And I think we'll have a little bit more of an understanding, but not much regarding even practice and qualifying. So the post-qualifying reports like this are not going to matter as much on super speedways. And there's nothing really to see here anyway. I mean, yeah, you got 3 out of the top 4 Toyotas. Ford has 3 in the top 10. What is it? 3 in the top 10. Chevy has 3 in the top 10. And Toyota has 4 in the top 10. So 4, 3, and 3. Did we really learn anything? No, I don't think so. Let's post up. Look, these odds really haven't changed either. They haven't changed much. Even though I do believe Ryan Blaney is the favorite in the sports book I use, and I believe he might end up the favorite. I think that's quite possible. Again, I think Kyle, the only reason that he might wind up in that area is because, again, his time's running out on him. People are sentimentally going to be going for him. Not to say that he can't do it and that he's not qualified to do it, but he really shouldn't be first or second. That should be like Joey Logano. It should be like Denny Hamlin. Larson was 18-1, as I mentioned on my book. So I think his odds should continue to drop. There's no reason it should stay up there. But again, here are some good bargain plays. Buescher, Wallace. If you think Cindric can win 2 Daytona 500s, he's a bargain pick. I said this the other day. If it wasn't for the fact that Cindric had already won a Daytona 500, I would have put him in my top 3 picks. And I've already said that I'm taking him next week. I already said it. He's one of my top 3 picks next week in Atlanta. Okay. And I have him in my final 8 this year. So you can check out the season preview edition we did. That's in the library as well. And the link in the description. And that gives you just an indication when we go over who our top final 8 picks are as far as the playoffs and our final 4 and our champion and our sleeper champion and that kind of stuff. We give you an indication of who we think is going to have a good year, who might be able to win races. We even have one question was name a driver that is sort of like Harrison Burton in a way that's going to steal a win, probably not do much in the playoffs because he just doesn't have the team behind him. But you think it's possible that he's good enough to get a win. So we went over stuff like that. So I think that's important. You're looking for those long shot drivers that might be able to steal wins, and that helps you in fantasy as well. Here you go, the pole sitter, which doesn't really matter much at Daytona. So don't think about that. And regarding pole positioning, 11 of the last 14 winners, okay, at Daytona started 10th or lower, meaning 10, 11, 12, and so forth. That included starting positions of 20th, 21st twice, 29th, 31st, and 34th. 4 of the last 5 winners started outside the top 17, and all 5 outside the top 10. So it just doesn't matter. Don't make that a reason for your picking. There's one of my bargain picks, Bowman. Am I concerned? Look, I'm not concerned I'm more concerned with the fact that he's got to go to a backup car. That's it. I don't care about him starting 38th. Meaningless. So, but it's not going to take me away from wagering on him. If I hadn't already bet him, would I wager a little less money? Yeah, I would, but not a lot more. Not a lot less. And there's Allgaier, 35. There's Jones. And we like Jones as well. We told you have to take Eric Jones. We said you have to take Eric Jones and AJ Allmendinger. You have to, and if you're somebody that only bets like $50 or $100 on the Daytona 500, you have to throw a buck on him. Eric Jones, don't forget he's got a win at Daytona in 2018, and he has 7 top 10s in his last 10 at Talladega, including 3 top 5s in a runner-up. So he knows how to super speedway drive. There's my Gregson at 40. You've got winners like Dillon and Stenhouse and McDowell. Haley's a winner. Forget Suarez. There's Dillon now 70. There's AJ at 70. There's one of my long shots this year, Cole Custer. And there's LaJoy even getting still. Corey LaJoie should not be getting the same odds as Helio Castroneves. So for that alone, you got to put a buck on him. Come on. Okay, that's going to do it. So next week it's Atlanta. Make sure to check out Kevin's video. Let him know if you have any questions. He's our resident hockey analyst first. NASCAR so it's sort of going to be 1B to his 1A to hockey. Matter of fact, we'll be posting a hockey video. We recorded it a couple of days ago. So once I'm done editing it, we're going to post it. It's not a time issue because they're off for another week and a half. So I can take my time with it, which I needed to because we're so busy right now. But we're going to be posting that in the next couple of days with Kevin, who's going to be doing a really good job this season in hockey. He's going to do a lot of hockey handicapping, but he's also going to be doing NASCAR handicapping every week. So check that out. And again, you can check out our Daytona 500 preview from a couple of days ago. Make sure to subscribe. That helps us as a channel. You're definitely supporting the channel if you do that. And liking the channel is also very important, as is if you can get the ball rolling in the community, in the comments section. The algorithms like that. They like engagement. And if you can engage with us, we really appreciate that. And we appreciate even if you just give us great comments, that's also awesome. But, if you want to get the ball rolling, you want to get some controversy going, you want to bring up some interesting topics, things of that nature to get some more interaction from anyone that's watching the video, do that. And also share the video. Share it to your friends. The more you can share it, the more possible people watch it. So we're going to get out of here, or I'm going to get out of here and wrap it up for our coverage this week. Now, I'll say this in the beginning, but I'll probably not just keep mentioning it. So just keep this in mind. At any point, we could come on a race night, on a race day, at the end of the race, the last 30 laps, the last 50 laps, whenever, and we might just jump out there and just decide, hey, this is a good time. The timing's perfect. Or I might just decide, hey, I want to go live. And so check out that possibility. Now, sometimes we may not go live. Sometimes I might just say, hey, maybe this would be a good idea. I'll record this as it's happening at the end. And once the race is over and I'm done with the recording, I'll repost it on the website. And then you'll just get an idea of what was going through my mind as the race was happening. Meanwhile, look out for shorts, because shorts are also going to be a really cool way for us to just, hey, we got something and we don't want to wait until Wednesday to get it off our chest. So we're going to spit out a short. We're going to throw it up on the channel. So that's why subscribing to the channel is really cool, because you get to watch and be alerted to anything that we have to say regarding NASCAR. And in about, a month, I believe, month and a half, CJ is going to be getting back on that F1 train. So right now it's all NASCAR, but F1 is right around the corner as well. Enjoy the Daytona 500, everybody. Let's just hope, pray, nothing happens like what happened last night. Because remember what I always say about super speedway racing, just don't let the race end under caution. And now we have something even more crazy to think about that's possible, is don't let the race end under caution like that ever again. We'll see everybody next week. Thanks for tuning in.